Prime Field.
Welcome to Prime Field. Today we're diving into the most shocking moves in women's college basketball this offseason, the top 5 biggest surprise recruits in the 2025 transfer portal. The transfer portal has completely transformed college basketball, creating a free agency period that reshapes programs overnight. And this year, we've seen some truly unexpected entries that have left coaches, analysts, and fans absolutely stunned. These aren't just any players, they're program changers, difference makers who could shift the competitive landscape dramatically next season. So let's break down the 5 transfers that nobody saw coming, but everyone is talking about. What makes these particular transfers so surprising isn't just their talent, it's the situations they're leaving behind. In many cases, these are players discarding successful programs, abandoning established roles, or walking away from teams where they were already thriving. This unprecedented movement reflects the evolving mindset of the modern student athlete. Today's players are increasingly strategic about their collegiate careers, viewing each season as a precious opportunity to maximize their development, exposure, and future prospects. So what drives an established star to enter the transfer portal? Sometimes it's playing time, sometimes it's system fit, sometimes it's a desire to compete for championships, and sometimes it's simply seeking a fresh start with new challenges and opportunities. As we examine each of these surprising portal entries, we'll analyze not just what each player brings to the table, but what their departure means for their former programs and how they might transform their future destinations. The ripple effects of these decisions will be felt throughout the upcoming season. When MiLaysia Fulwiley entered the transfer portal, the women's basketball world collectively gasped. How could a player who was such a vital spark for the dominant South Carolina program be looking elsewhere? Despite limited starts and inconsistent minutes, Fulwiley established herself as a true walking highlight reel for the Gamecocks. Averaging 11.7 points per game as the team's second leading scorer, her explosive offensive capabilities were undeniable. But the writing was on the wall. With high-profile recruits like Tania Latson arriving and competition for minutes intensifying, Fulwiley clearly wants a situation where she can be the centerpiece. And who could blame her? Programs nationwide are lining up for a chance to give her that starring role. A more consistent opportunity could be exactly what she needs to transform from highlight creator to dominant, reliable force night after night. What made Fulwiley such a special talent at South Carolina was her ability to change games in an instant. Despite coming off the bench for much of the season, her impact was immediate whenever she stepped on the court. Her lightning-quick first step and creative finishing abilities around the rim made her nearly impossible to contain in transition. The statistics only tell part of the story. While 11.7 points per game is impressive, it's how she accumulated those points that had NBA and WNBA scouts taking notice. Acrobatic layups, no-look passes, and defensive plays that sparked fast breaks. Fulwiley has a flair for the dramatic that energizes teammates and electrifies crowds. For her next program, Fulwiley likely seeks a situation where she can showcase her full repertoire. She's not just looking for more playing time, she wants a system built around her unique talents, one that embraces her creativity rather than attempting to contain it within a structured framework. Imagine her in an up-tempo system that encourages transition play and values creativity over rigid structure. That could be the perfect environment for Fulwiley to evolve from exciting prospect to dominant star and potential Player of the Year candidate. If Fulwiley's transfer was surprising, Oluchi Okananwa's decision to leave Duke was downright stunning. The ACC tournament most valuable player walking away, nobody saw that coming. Okananwa emerged as one of the most versatile defenders in the conference, averaging 10.1 points and 5.3 rebounds per game, primarily off the bench. Her defensive intensity changed games, disrupting opponents' offensive flow with remarkable consistency. But sometimes, even most valuable player caliber athletes seek something more. Despite her success at Duke, Okananwa clearly envisions herself in an expanded role. She's not just a defensive specialist, she's a complete player ready to prove it. Whichever program lands her will be getting an immediate culture changer, someone who brings championship experience and an elite defensive mindset from day one. That's the kind of transfer that transforms a good team into a great one. What sets Okananwa apart is her basketball intelligence. Her anticipation allows her to disrupt passing lanes without gambling, and her positioning rarely forces desperate recoveries. This disciplined approach produced defensive efficiency that stats can't fully capture. During Duke's ACC tournament run, Okananwa repeatedly locked down opponents' top scorers. Time after time, those players finished well below their averages, frustrated by her length, quickness, and relentless pressure. The burning question? Why leave after such a dominant tournament performance? The answer likely lies in her desire to expand her offensive role. Despite her defensive accolades, she's shown flashes of untapped scoring potential. Programs needing a 2A star should prioritize Okananwa. She could be the missing piece that elevates a good defensive team to elite status, while providing unexpected offensive firepower as her game grows. After battling back from a devastating foot injury that threatened her career, Gianna Kneepkens rewarded Utah's patience with an absolutely explosive season, which makes her entry into the transfer portal all the more shocking. The numbers speak volumes: 19.3 points per game with jaw-dropping efficiency, 50.4% from the field, and an almost unfathomable 44.8% from beyond the three-point arc. Those aren't just good statistics, they're elite. Kneepkens represents the prototype of the modern scoring wing, someone who can create her own shot, move without the ball, and punish defenses from every level. Her high-volume scoring paired with that shooting efficiency makes her perhaps the most valuable offensive weapon in the entire portal. The question everyone's asking: what could motivate a player thriving in Utah's system to seek a change? Whatever her reasons, Kneepkens will have her pick of championship contenders eager to add her scoring prowess to their roster. What makes Kneepkens' shooting numbers even more remarkable is the degree of difficulty on many of her attempts. She wasn't just knocking down wide-open shots created by the offensive system. She was hitting contested jumpers, step-backs, and shots off screens with defenders draped all over her. Her footwork deserves special attention. Kneepkens has mastered the subtle art of creating just enough separation to get her shot off, whether through hesitation moves, change of pace, or precise cutting without the ball. This technical precision explains how someone without elite athleticism consistently produces against top defenders. The rehabilitation process following her foot injury may have actually improved her game. Unable to rely on explosiveness during recovery, Kneepkens appeared to refine her shooting mechanics and basketball intelligence, returning as an even more complete offensive threat. For championship contenders, adding Kneepkens represents a low-risk, high-reward scenario. She's a proven scorer who doesn't need excessive touches to be effective, can play within a system, and brings the spacing that unlocks offensive opportunities for teammates. Her shooting threat alone changes how defenses must prepare and execute. Sometimes the most impressive performances come from players on struggling teams. That's exactly the case with Serah Williams, whose dominance for Wisconsin often went underappreciated amid the team's overall challenges. The production speaks for itself: 19.2 points, 9.8 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks per game. Those are program player numbers, difference-maker statistics that translate to any system. Williams established herself as one of the most impactful bigs in the country, despite playing for a team that struggled to compete in the loaded Big Ten Conference. Her two-way ability to affect the game both offensively and defensively gives her almost unlimited potential in the right situation. For programs seeking an immediate post presence, Williams represents the rare combination of proven production and untapped ceiling. Place her in a winning environment with complementary talent, and we could be looking at one of next season's breakout stars. What makes Williams' statistical production even more remarkable is the context. Playing for a Wisconsin team that often struggled to space the floor properly, she faced constant double and triple teams as opponents built their entire defensive game plan around containing her. Despite this focused defensive attention, Williams still managed to shoot an efficient percentage from the field while demonstrating impressive versatility. She scored effectively with her back to the basket, facing up from the mid-range, and even showed developing three-point range that hints at her evolving skill set. Defensively, Williams altered countless shots beyond the 2.3 blocks she averaged. Her rim protection forced opponents to consistently settle for lower percentage outside shots rather than challenging her in the paint. This defensive presence is something that can immediately elevate a team's overall defensive rating, Imagine Williams in a program where she doesn't have to carry the entire offensive burden. Surrounded by complementary talents who can create spacing and take pressure off her, we could see her efficiency climb even higher while maintaining her impressive scoring and rebounding numbers. The ceiling for her development in the right system is virtually limitless. Our final surprise transfer spotlights experience, versatility, and untapped potential. Iyanna Moore was the stabilizing force for our rebuilding Vanderbilt program, consistently producing while the team found its footing. With one season of eligibility remaining, Moore's 12.4 points, 2.7 rebounds, and 2.7 assists per game showcase her balanced skill set. She's not just a scorer. She's a complete off-ball guard who enhances everyone around her. The rumors suggest she might be heading back to Big Ten Conference country, where her defensive tenacity and scoring touch could immediately elevate a contender. Or perhaps she's seeking that featured role that was sometimes difficult to maintain consistently at Vanderbilt. What makes Moore particularly valuable is her plug-and-play potential. She doesn't need a system built around her to be effective. She simply makes winning plays, time after time. Moore's game represents the evolution of the modern combo guard. While not fitting neatly into traditional point guard or shooting guard classifications, she excels in today's positionless basketball landscape where versatility trumps rigid role definitions. Despite playing for a Vanderbilt program that struggled with consistency, Moore maintained remarkable efficiency. Her ability to contribute in multiple statistical categories while limiting mistakes made her the rare player who positively impacts games even when her shot isn't falling. With just 1 year of eligibility remaining, Moore's transfer decision likely centers on maximizing her final collegiate season. Whether seeking a championship opportunity, a return closer to home, or simply a fresh basketball challenge, she brings the maturity and experience that coaches covet. Conference contenders would be wise to prioritize Moore in their transfer recruitment. She represents the perfect complementary piece, someone who can elevate the players around her, accept any role required, and deliver in clutch moments. She's the type of player championship teams often have as their unheralded X factor when making deep tournament runs. These 5 unexpected transfers represent more than just player movement. They signal a fundamental shift in how elite talent approaches their college careers. Players are increasingly empowered to seek situations that maximize their abilities and opportunities. The ripple effects will be felt throughout women's college basketball. Programs that land these difference makers immediately improve their championship outlook, while those left behind must quickly pivot to replace irreplaceable production. The coming weeks will reveal where these 5 stars land, potentially reshaping conference races and national championship odds in the process. That's the beauty and chaos of the transfer portal era. Everything can change overnight. Thanks for joining us at Prime Field for this breakdown of the most surprising entries in the 2025 women's basketball transfer portal. Stay tuned for our coverage of where these players ultimately land and how their decisions impact the landscape of college basketball next season. What makes this transfer cycle particularly intriguing is the caliber of players available. These aren't just role players seeking bigger opportunities. These are established stars, statistical leaders, and award winners choosing to restart their journeys elsewhere. For coaches, this new landscape requires adaptation. Program building is no longer just about the high school recruitment and multi-year development. The most successful programs will be those that effectively balance traditional recruiting with strategic transfer portal management. As we look toward next season, the destinations of these 5 players could completely shift the power dynamics in multiple conferences. A championship contender adding Kneepkens' scoring punch or Williams' interior presence might be the final piece needed for a title run. The transfer portal represents both challenge and opportunity, challenging the traditional structure of college basketball while creating unprecedented opportunities for players to shape their own destinies. As fans, we're witnessing the evolution of the sport in real time, and these 5 surprising transfers are at the forefront of that transformation.
Prime Field.